Bill Birmingham sat in the cold lobby of the mental hospital, waiting to meet his therapist. While he was waiting, he remembered her blue-green eyes, the eyes that will be forever etched inside his memory. He was getting help for PTSD he suffered after the war. Bill had rough skin that was the color of paste and the texture of leather. His sea blue eyes were bloodshot from the lack of sleep. He had a blonde crew cut, a square jaw, and fit body, which revealed that he still kept himself in shape. All of these features contrasted with his voice, which was cracking and hollow, almost as if he had never grown up. Bill came across as being uncaring and even brutal. People could see this in his hands, which he nervously clenched into fists, and his eyes which rarely made contact with the eyes of others. He had other nervous habits too, like he hyperactively jingles his right leg when he was talking, and occasionally his link would turn into an uncontrollable twitch. In the Navy, he suffered from nervous hallucinations and irrational behavior. So he was removed from active duty and placed in a mental hospital outside of Fairfield, Connecticut, just 5 miles away from the purple and red house he grew up in. He also had panic attacks, one of which was so bad that he had to go to the hospital and be admitted into a psych ward. Sometimes he forgot to brush his hair. Other times he would pick fights with people and repeat the same word over and over. His eyes were glazed over, almost as if in another world away. One day, Bill was allowed to go to the town stores, but only with a chaperone. He decided to go to King's to buy some fruit with his tall, bulky friend. This was the first time he had been out since he had been admitted into the mental hospital. This trip made him feel a lot better than before. When he was at the checkout, he saw someone who he remembered from his past life before being admitted to the hospital. Her name was Georgia Maria. Her eyes were a beautiful dark blue in a sea of green. And at that moment, she recognized him and approached him, saying, "Bill Birmingham, is that you?" She greeted him curtly as her dainty arms wrapped around him. She told him about her deep pleasure in seeing him again and talked to him about her new job as a store owner. But all he could think about were her dark blue-green eyes searching for him in a world of happiness that cannot be obtained. He felt alive for the first time and felt like he could tell her everything that has been going on with him. He talked about his experience in the military and how he's been suffering from PTSD. As he was in the checkout line, he saw a magazine with a magician on the cover, and he remembered. His hands started sweating, his jaw clenched, and then he started to black out again. He was back in the 6th grade, looking for fossils in the woods with his father Sean. He showed Bill some magic trick, where he made a corn distill, and then he made Bill drink whiskey and touched him in an inappropriate way. Bill was angry at first, and he felt his stomach contracting. He let out a cry, but there was no one to hear him. Then he was on the battlefield in Iraq, where Bill was wounded from the bullet that barely grazed his stomach and was curled up in a ball, screaming for help, but no one came. He saw her eyes everywhere. Her eyes were those of an angel. He woke up screaming and shaking, gasping for breath. That's when he befriended Sam, the cowboy in pointy boots with the big hat. Even though Sam was in his imagination, Bill could always pretend to be with Sam when he was scared. There was something in his eyes which resembled hope. Sam was confident and strong. He took risks and never backed down. He stood up to people and he was happy, something that Bill Birmingham would never be.
The students will be